which category they would fall in. And you mentioned about E-preneur.
Yes.
Okay, we've got someone who has just entered the studio, and there is this glow of a winner on her face. Simi Harplani joins in. She was the winner of the E-preneur award of the MSME in the previous edition, MSME Honours. Simi, welcome to TSB once again, and tell us, how does it feel to be called the winner?
It was amazing experience. As Priyesh just said, that they wanted to recognize people who are just having freelancing license or e-commerce licenses and all. So me being in business of e-commerce since last 10 years, and I would label myself as a mompreneur or a homepreneur.
Okay.
Being a mommy, I decided to just work online and not dedicate myself to a full-time work. So that way I always label myself as a mompreneur, homepreneur, working from home, etc. But when somebody called me and they said there is a Tally Awards coming up and there is a recognition called E-preneur icon, would you like to register yourself? So it interested me a lot, the title itself.
Right.
But as always, like, we keep receiving calls from people that there have been awards happening and you have to pay this much amount, etc. So I thought this must be one of them, and I didn't take it very seriously until I myself went through the whole process.
Okay.
How, so first I got a call, then I said, okay, let me just register myself. So I registered myself, and then within 24 hours, I received a call that I've registered, and they would like to know more about me.
Right.
So they were more interested to know the basic nature of my business, me as a person, and me as an entrepreneur. And that was like, I thought, okay, this is serious, and I started taking it seriously. So after listening to me for a good 20-25 minutes, they told me they'll get back to me if they find that I'm worthy of the title. And after a week or so, after shortlisting, they again called me up, and then I was like more excited. So they said, you have been shortlisted among the first registrations, and we would like to know more about the whole story, how it started, and it's been 10 years, what you have done in 10 years.
It's a long journey.
And I had a story to tell, so I was very happy that finally somebody's there to hear out my story. So me being a doctor, I was practicing homeopathy, and after being mommy, I changed my profession from medical to fashion.
Wow.
So fashion was my passion, and then I started this online jewelry business.
Okay.
And it went on going, and after COVID, we went more digital, and this is how E-preneur came into existence.
This is incredible. This is an incredible story over here. I mean, in the last 2 minutes that you've spoken to me, there are so many aspects of a business that you've highlighted, touched upon, and you've made it very human, because every person that does any kind of business or any kind of work, has to dedicate time, effort, energy into it. But being a mom, there is another layer of work that comes on, and that is something that you cannot ignore. You can't ignore your kid at home and try and come here and work for 8 hours a day, or maybe 10, because the demands are such, right? But when you keep all of that aside and think that, listen, I'll manage everything, there has to be something that recognizes your effort, and I'm glad that the E-preneur icon, happened.
That's what exactly happened. Yeah, after all the process, and then when they told me that you have been shortlisted, they didn't tell me that you have been, selected the one. You've been shortlisted, and okay, I was like, okay, I'm shortlisted. And one fine morning, I receive a call from friends, clients, and neighbors. Oh, you're on Gulf News. We just saw your picture.
Wow.
And I was like, and I was just sipping my cup. I was just sipping on my tea, and I was like, what? And I started receiving messages from people, because we don't get a physical copy of Gulf News at our house. So it was a big surprise for me, recognized on a Gulf News kind of platform. Even after a few months, when I was going and meeting, even I met my family doctor, and he said, you were there on Gulf News, and I saw you, and I told my wife that she's my patient. That was like, okay, I felt so proud of myself.
You should.
So so I would say, this is a lovely platform for recognitions, for all the titles. The way you said, the titles have been so nicely designed for every field. So yeah, my experience with this thing was lovely.
I'm quite impressed with, your